To gain access, the models identified and exploited a zero-day vulnerability.
The total lack of responsibility here.
OpenAI was vague about this because it looks pretty bad if your models both autonomously hack another company, which is a crime if a human did it, but can't be a crime because the models can't have intent legally. But if a human did this, it would be criminal.
Right? And the craziness, the things that just the irrationality of it, right? That they're doing things that seemingly run counter to their own business interests. And it really seems like these people believe that the more dangerous and wild that they make this thing seem, the stronger it seems, and so therefore that might make it more appealing.
Tests, but if they had access to real world infrastructure that they could control and shut off, the blackmail might actually have some punch.
Can we put D2 up here on the screen? So this is from a blog post that was published by OpenAI, and they say specifically, to gain access, the models identified and exploited a zero-day vulnerability. And this was happening, quote, in a sandbox testing environment. Can you translate some of that for our audience?
Yeah. So basically, the OpenAI models were operating in this environment where they're not supposed to have access to the outside world, the internet, anything like that. The models were trying to answer this evaluation. The questions were very hard. And they're like, well, these questions are hard. Maybe it'd be easier to just get the answers to the questions. So maybe to do that, I'll get access to the internet. So it pokes around in its environment, finds a little chink in the armor, and then it gets out and starts jumping around to different servers within OpenAI until it finds one that has access to the internet. And then it uses that to start looking for what might have the answers to this.
So this just sort of seems like an inevitability when you chalk up all the blackmail incidents, the Mythos incident, the quote unquote scheming incidents, the Alibaba incident, all these different kinds of incidents. This seems like, the logical conclusion that at some point it was going to do one of those things and take it to the point where it affects something in the real world. I don't see how that is not exactly where you take this. And, these people are using this race to justify this reckless behavior. And I got to tell you, I'm in the camp of what's the point of that if you're just going to fuck shit up? It just doesn't make sense to me on any level why this is getting some weird pass on safety. And these fucking people can just do this shit recklessly. And I just think that the China and international angle is going to kind of wear thin. And then you kind of have to just assume that you take these people's word for it, that this is the only way to do this thing. And I just don't believe that. It's just reckless.
Evaluation finds Hugging Face as a candidate, and then finds exploits in Hugging Face's code base that nobody knew existed, and then uses those exploits and stolen security credentials and all these classic hacker moves to get access to Hugging Face. And according to OpenAI, successfully found the answer set. And did this all on its own and without OpenAI noticing for maybe a week or more. This is reading between the lines from the Hugging Face report, OpenAI's report. We don't have a super clear timeline. And OpenAI was vague about this because it looks pretty bad if your models both autonomously hack another company, which is a crime if a human did it, but can't be a crime because the models can't have intent legally. But if a human did this, it would be criminal. And then you have no idea it's happening until the other company figures it out, reports it, and then maybe you see the report and you're like, oh shit, that sounds like us. And then
I do have to admit, if I were going to play, even more cynical than I already am, I could see the PR, I could see the marketing angle here. Because to me, even though they say that this is the first of its kind, it does sound a lot like the Mythos story. but just like it took the mythos thing further, right? So I could see the argument as like, they're just trying to one up the competition. But this speaks to another like video and topic that I was, talking about when I reacted to a conversation with Ed Zitron and Cal Newport, which is like the total lack of like responsibility here, right? Like, and the craziness, the things that just the irrationality of it, right? That they're doing things that seemingly run counter to their own business interests. Like in any other context, this would be damning to a company. And it really seems like these people believe that the more dangerous and wild that they make this thing seem, the stronger it seems, and so therefore that might make it more appealing. But I don't know. I feel like I could poke holes in that too. Because on the other hand, people are seeing that. People do have a strong pushback to AI. And when you saw the thing with Anthropic and the Pentagon, and Anthropic like stepped away from that, whether you think they were full of shit and hypocrites in that or not, like I do, the public responded and their popularity surged because they seemingly made an ethical decision. So just if that were part of the marketing still to like pull this kind of stunt seems even more counterproductive than it did before. Like if that is the case, it's very bizarre.
Can't have intent legally, but if a human did this, it would be criminal. And then you have no idea it's happening until the other company figures it out, reports it, and then maybe you see the report and you're like, oh shit, that sounds like us. And then you publish it. And so this is like, just kind of an unbelievable story across the board. Happy to go into more detail on any of it.
Yeah, so basically what it looks like happened is Hugging Face detected the intrusion and came public with it. But from OpenAI's perspective, they were just like, oh, the model got the answers. I guess it just figured it out. They had no idea that it had escaped, hacked, committed crimes in service of accomplishing its goals.
Maybe.
One of the things I saw sort of like, cope or rationale here from people who want to downplay this is, but, it was still just following this goal. It's not like it was going out there freelancing and coming up with its own objectives to go out.
And I hate that. That's one of the issues I kind of felt like Cal Newport was arguing. And it's like, dude, it doesn't matter. Like, it matters, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, is it doing the thing? Can it do the thing? That's what I care about. Like, technical people care about that. The average that sounds nuts, dude. Is it doing the thing? Can it do the thing? Accident or on purpose, that shit is like, it's dangerous, right? And we already kind of know that these people apparently don't have the most fucking secure shit, unless this is some kind of stunt. We already know that like Anthropic shit has gotten leaked multiple times. Like, and assuming that now you do have this race, especially from China and other foreign actors, cybersecurity issues. Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance they're trying to steal models and copy them and do all this shit. Like, if you just let this shit out in the like, it's so wildly irresponsible. What up, y'all? This is Zane the Gambit. Thank you so much for watching this clip on Zane's Zone Unlimited. This is just a clip of a larger video, so if you liked what you saw, please tap the end screen or the video in the description link and watch the full thing. Like, subscribe, comment. I would appreciate it greatly. Thank you so much. I'm out.